everyone. Welcome to Market Today. I am Siddharth Zarabi, and joining me now is Dr. Praveer Sinha, the CEO and Managing Director of Tata Power. Welcome to the show, Dr. Sinha. Good set of second quarter numbers, and as the statement from your company said, 16 quarters of profit growth on a trot.
Good morning, Siddharth. Thank you for having me on your show. You are right, good set of numbers, and consistency is the name of the game. I think that's what is important, that how as a company we can be consistent and continue to perform well. Strong fundamentals of the company, where each of our businesses have very good efficiency, operational parameters are good, financial parameters are good. So I think we have delivered to whatever we have promised, and that gives us satisfaction that directionally we are doing the right things, and hopefully this will continue in future too.
Take our viewers through what actually led to this kind of growth. There was some mention of a settlement in Zambia, but if you could provide some more color on the numbers for the profit after tax.
So this quarter we have actually having very good performance from our core businesses. So all our existing coal-based plants, all our existing hydro plants, our transmission and distribution business, renewables, all of them have started showing very good results. And we have learned what makes us more efficient, and what is the focus that we need to do in our business so that we get sustained growth. So many of the initiatives that we took few years back, that one was that we started divesting outside India some of the non-core businesses. That has helped us to get that money and improve our balance sheet, and also bring more focus on India-centric projects. We took our next focus was to enhance our renewable business, and that has again helped us. We have got very good traction in each of the businesses, whether it is utility scale or it is in a rooftop solar or third-party EPC. And now with the 4.3 gigawatt manufacturing coming up, we'll have a much better control on the supply chain and the cost of modules and the quality of modules. So I think we have been very steady in terms of what we need to do. We scripted our future growth on some of the new business areas, that is renewable and transmission and distribution. We have remained steady on that. We are not wavering to any other direction. And consistent performance, especially in all the operational areas, will ensure that we only enhance and improve in future.
One of the notable things is a 700 basis points margin expansion, and you mentioned in your earlier answer that hopefully you expect the performance to continue. Is that also for margins? You expect same kind of margin expansion?
Yes, absolutely, because many of the initiatives that we took to improve our operational efficiency, those have started showing results. And as we move forward, they will start, more of the areas will get covered, and to that extent, our improvement in margin will happen to a very, very large extent. So we do expect to have very robust performance going forward.
One of the things that you mentioned was the green energy expansion, and currently, if the numbers are right, 62% of your total mix is thermal. What happens to this mix as your clean energy plans expand in the years ahead?
So over a period of time, we will not be adding any capacity in our thermal, but we will add capacity in our renewable and clean energy. So right now we are 5,500 megawatt of clean energy, which consists of 3,200 of solar, 1,000 of wind, and around 1,300 of hydro and off-gas projects. And with nearly 3,700 of solar and wind under implementation, will become 9,200 by 26. And that will make 50-50 of clean energy and 50 of thermal. We have also 2,800 megawatt of of pumped hydro, which will happen by 27, 28. So we will eventually have nearly 70% of our portfolio by 2030, which will be clean energy, and only 30% will remain of the existing coal. And I think 2045, we have set a target that will become 100% a clean energies company.
So the significant number 70-30 mix by 2030. Let me turn to the EV charging space because this is something that connects with a much wider set of people. You have a significant presence there. What is the status on the EV charging business, and what kind of expansion is likely?
So in EV charging, there are four sets of business. One is the home charging. We have 62,000 home chargers right across the country. Then we have the public charging, which is nearly 4,900, which is in many cities, nearly 400 cities and highways and expressways, starting from Srinagar right up to Kanyakumari. And then we have the fleet charging, which is by many of these fleet owners, where we provide them at captive units for their charging. And the last one is the bus charging. So we have 460 of bus chargers installed right from again Srinagar to Jammu to Delhi to Ahmedabad to Bangalore to Mumbai to Calcutta. So we are seeing a huge amount of traction in all these areas, and each one of them is making business returns, excepting the public charging where the utilization is still very low. We do expect that in next 3 to 5 years, once the public charging is utilized more, when more and more of penetration of electric vehicle takes place, it will also start making money. So I think we are in the right direction. We have nearly 60% market share, and we do expect that we'll maintain this share even going forward.
Broadly speaking, what is your expectation with regard to the growth of EV in the overall automobile space? How big a dent can EVs make in the current set of automobile engine mixes that we have?
I think EV penetration will increase, whether it is in public transport or private transport or fleet transport. We have not seen that, especially in the fleet transport, where we still find a lot of ICE engines are being used. Similarly, in the transportation, commercial transportation, especially the city commercial transportation, there is a huge potential. And I do know that there are many of the large companies who are looking at converting 100% to EV in next 2 to 3 years, and they are working with the OEMs on that. So I think there will be a huge influx of electric vehicle with more and more models and more OEMs coming into the play.
And viewers, we have to remember that when it comes to the overall Tata Group, they have significant investments and some solid businesses in that space. But we'll leave that for another conversation. One final point. Tell our viewers about how power demand has shaped up. Post the pandemic, we saw a certain volatility, and we also saw pressure on input prices. So, how is demand shaping up, and what's the overall input cost scenario, particularly on the thermal side that you are working?
So the demand has gone up tremendously. Last year, the demand went up by 10%, and this year also we have seen the demand go up by 10%. So cumulative increase is 22%, and we do see that with the extreme weather conditions, as also because of good industrial environment and good production, there is a huge demand that we are seeing in the country. And we do expect that this demand will continue for next few years, considering the economic activity that is taking place in the country and large number of manufacturing units coming up in the country. So I do expect that power demand will go up sharply in the coming years. And that means that we need to quickly enhance the capacity of new plants to be set up, whether it is renewable or it is some of the storage solutions that like pumped hydro and the hydro plants or the battery storage. So I think the demand will go up tremendously, and the Indian industry and the government, I think, is supporting the developers to set up new manufacturing plants to cater to the requirement of the demand.
Dr. Sinha, last question really, and I want to ask you about the debt profile, particularly because of the recent results and the overall streak of profitability that you have had. What's the outlook there?
So our debt is very good, very manageable. We are at something like 36,000 crores. And our debt equity is about one. Our debt to EBITDA is 2.6, and which is a very good number, especially considering we are an infrastructure company. Infrastructure companies have much higher debt EBITDA. They have a much higher debt equity. We are much below the normal trend, and I think this gives us the opportunity to grow and expand very fast in the coming years.
All right, Praveer Sinha, thank you very much for your time with us today. The Tata Power share, right up there on your screen, down around 5 rupees at 250, but the management taking us through the latest results. With that, it's a wrap. We'll be back with more. Until then, goodbye.
Thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us here on BTTV. Coming to you, Anas, first, you said that this year is a record year for big philanthropy. Could you tell us more about that, and could you also take us through the key highlights of the list?